Should ambulance drivers respond to calls from non-vegans? What do you guys think? What about people who know that hurting animals is wrong, but who have kept on doing it year after year? And then something happens to them and they call and they want some help. What do you think the animals would say? How do you think that the pigs would respond to this right now? The pigs who have had their babies killed, the pigs who have had their parents killed, the pigs whose mothers were raped, forced to be pregnant year after year. How do you think that the cows would respond to this? Cows who have also had their babies kidnapped, their milk stolen, been forced to be pregnant year after year. How would the cows respond to this? How would the chickens respond to this? The chickens who year after year are murdered at just 6 weeks old and end up at KFC. How do you think they would respond to this if they were 5 weeks old right now and they knew that they were going to end up in someone's belly in a week? How do you think that horses would respond to this, who have been forced to train year after year because their master wants to be in the Olympics? And these horses want nothing to do with being in the Olympics. They just want to be left alone with their families to run on a beach somewhere or in a field. How do you think that every animal feels who has had their skin ripped off of them or seen it happen to their friend? How do you think that animals feel like sheep who have been pinned down and who have been shaved year after year because they were bred into existence in the first place just to be used as commodities because somebody wants to steal their wool? How do you think that the bees would feel about this? The bees who work their entire lives for a little bit of honey for themselves, and then these giant bullies come along and steal it from them. You see, the question isn't really supposed to be meant for me. I mean, I am a spokesperson for the animals because I have a heart, because I have empathy, because I can imagine being in their shoes. But here's the thing. Yes, the ambulance drivers should show up because some people who are calling are not aware about what's going on. Like me, when I was about 20 years old or 15 or whatever, before I became vegetarian, which was a mistake, by the way, I should have been vegan, but I was vegetarian for years. Before I became vegan, I just didn't know better. And so yes, of course we should answer the calls. But it depends who's calling. For example, if a child is calling the ambulance because their mom fell off a chair or they're in trouble or whatever, yeah, of course we have to have compassion for people who've just never thought about veganism before. But let's talk about somebody who, let's say, owns a corporation and is making money off the backs of these animals. People who use animals, people who use horses, or pigs, or cows, or chickens, or turkeys, and they make money off of commodifying them. What about those people? What about the people who I've spoken to year after year and asked them to please stop hurting animals? What should happen to them? Should people respond to the phone calls of those people who deliberately hurt animals and encouraged millions of people to do the same thing? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. And also, before you respond, make sure you watch the important documentary called Dominion. Watch Dominion on YouTube. Now, I had a recent interesting experience where I was speaking to somebody who was trying to sell me something. And I said to that person, you know, I will buy what you are selling me if you go and watch this documentary. And they thought it was a very strange thing to ask. I said, look, that's part of the deal. I will give you my money and I will buy your whatever, I'm not going to say the item, I will buy the item if you watch this documentary. And the person did. And the person said, oh my God, I had no idea what went on. Thank you so much for forcing me to watch the documentary called Dominion. I'm going to be vegan from now on. Isn't that incredible? So this is why I keep telling you guys it's so important to watch it. So thank you very much for listening. I'm very curious about your responses to my questions and to this particular question. And yeah, we'll see each other in the next video. Bye for now.
Let's follow that vegan teacher on YouTube right now.